we're going to take that video again. So it's not about healing. It's not about controlling the process of becoming. It's about listening to what's going on within and being informed by what's going on within on your next most obvious step, right? It's about learning how to co-create with the external circumstances, especially the circumstances that are not giving you what you want, by pouring into yourself first and allowing the parts of you that you've poured into that are being inspired by external circumstances to inform you on what next step to make in your world. So you would only understand what I'm talking about if you're on the edge of your cliff and you're about to make the next step into the unknown. Because if you're not, you wouldn't understand this message. It'll be just gibberish to you. So you're having a consciousness shift. That's what's happening. And because all this time you've been doing it through like learning and you've been consuming my information, you've been consuming other souls' information. The information is just sitting there. It's not actually working through your body and holding space for this new version of you that's coming online, right? We're eternal beings. We're always going to witness and receive more parts of ourselves. But with conditioning, with sourcing our power outside of ourselves, letting other people's voices be louder than our own intuition, many people are never going to experience the joy of experiencing our eternity in human form. It's just what it is. But you're one of those rare gems. You know that you're given great insight, you're given a great vision, that you know you came here in this lifetime to manifest. Because when you don't do it, you're depressed. When you don't do it, you're like spiraling negatively. So you know you came here to actualize it, to birth it through this meat suit, right? So it's not about focusing on everything that's missing, focusing on what's wrong about you, that, oh, you're not pretty enough, or you're not attractive enough, you're comparing yourself to other people. No. It's about accepting all this stuff your human is bringing to your attention and saying, I'm going to do it regardless, because that's where your power is embodied from. It's about accepting all these human parts of yourself and saying, I still choose me. I still want me. I am still in love with me. Even if there are more successful people, I still believe that my work is good enough. I have something to say. And you're going to listen to me, because you are going to benefit. You and your bloodline are going to benefit from this. And it's not coming from ego. It's coming from, it just is. Right? And I remember when I started Mental Alchemy Academy, it was, I didn't love my voice. I was judging myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, my stuff is too organic. It's not pretty. I don't have the perfect microphone. I don't have the perfect video. It's not perfect. I'm like, well, there's so much of that in the world. I mean, and it was because, I couldn't afford any of that. But maybe not affording it in that moment meant that I get to use what I'm given and still make magic. Because it's not about the gadgets, it's about my soul. It's about what's coming through me. And with time, as I was creating my podcast, I started falling in love with my voice. I started understanding my soul through my voice. There's a resonance that comes from the deepest parts of ourselves. It's not something that you can perform. It's not something that you can act. It just is. And the more I keep showing up for my vision, the more I keep showing up for my higher self, the more in love I become with myself, the more I become embodied with my power. Because I'm having to transcend the conditioning. I'm having to transmute. I'm not escaping it. I'm not acting as if it's not there. I'm working with it. because I came here for the human experience. I didn't come here to perform and to create from my ideal self, because that's conditioning. That's comparing my most authentic self to how other people show up. That's comparing my lower self to other people's higher self. That's not fair. It's about meeting all these parts of myself, because I'm my worst critic. Being aware with all these parts of myself and letting them share their wisdom with me. And the wisdom comes through feeling those emotions you're feeling and not making them wrong. And this is where you want to transmute them. And this is something I teach you how to do in the Sovereign Mind Activation and also in Soul Driven Radiance. It's not, the emotions are not wrong, it's wisdom. But how do you embody the wisdom? That's the question. It's about learning how to transmute the emotions into empowerment. Not resisting the emotions, but receiving them, right? We live in a society where we're taught that feeling is wrong, where we have to only feel positive emotions, which is bullcrap, because we are both day and night. If we were just day, there'll be just day all the time. We came here to earth to understand this wisdom, that yin yang, right? There's contrast. There's contrast for a reason. Trees to be grounded and to become majestic and bigger. And the deeper they go into the ground, the higher they'll be able aim for the sky, because they're held. So the deeper you're willing to receive all these negative aspects of yourself, your failures, everything that's not perfect, your most authentic self, your organic self that goes against society's ideals, right? And you create this unconditional safe space to just receive yourself and to choose you regardless. When you do this, you're doing the same thing. Like that tree that reaches really deep and finds water, constant flow of water. And when you come back into the light, you're just majestic. Because you're sourcing within yourself. Your inner oasis is within. You're not seeking it outside of yourself. And of course, it's not a one deal thing. It's a constant, it's a way of life. It's a way of being, it's a way of existing. It's calling yourself out on your own BS and saying, I'm sourcing my power from outside of myself. I'm letting other people's voices be louder than my own intuition. I'm people pleasing. I'm performing my life. I'm not actually living it authentically. Right? There's a difference between performing and romanticizing your life. Romanticizing is adorning your most authentic self. It's receiving your most authentic self and saying, just where you are is perfect. Right? So you're pulling your energy from the external world into your internal world. Because when you die, you're dying to your internal world. That's what's going on. And when you change your relationship with death from fear to love, wow, you start living. You start living. You start truly living. There's no more creating out of fear of dying. There's more of full acceptance of your mortality, right? You're an immortal having a mortal experience. But we're not going to bypass this human experience. We have this meat suit for a limited time. And you gained this meat suit for a reason. And that's what your vision keeps pushing you through, to say, hey, get out of this conditioning, this matrix way of thinking and start plugging into your soul's way of thinking, so you know how to transmute all these lower thoughts into magic, into gold, because only you can do it the way you do it. Only I can do it the way I do it. But I can show you what courage looks like. To show up not knowing, but trusting this next step and believing in its validity as enough. Me being here is a full stop, right? And when I take the next step, when I'm opening up to the next step, I'm starting a new sentence. So it's a continuum of existence, because you're connecting to your soul. There's no thinking, there's just being. So when you're overthinking everything, when you're trying to figure everything out and you're planning, you're over planning, you're ending up, you're storing all your energy in your mind instead of bringing it to your center, to your heart, and letting your soul, because your soul connects through your heart, and letting your soul decide how much of your energy goes to your mind. Because your soul speaks through downloads, speaks through intuition, speaks through energy, not through thought. It's energy. That's what you're shifting into. You want to lead through energy, because energy is what you're attracting from. Energy is what you're perceiving life from. So once you master this, you become more dynamic in your creativity. You become more dynamic in creating your life. You become more dynamic in allowing your past to work in service to your dream self, to help you catch up to your dream self faster instead of slowing you down from catching up to your dream self, right? So it's all about working with what you've got, not making it wrong, not letting the external, other people define what success is. Oh boy, I used to do this a lot when I was discovering my own role in the world. I was listening to all these podcasts, listening to their own definition of success, and I was internalizing it, and I was looking at my own life. I'm like, I'm not successful. Or there's videos about how to be successful, how to be desirable and whatnot, right? It's all about seeking something that you're not, instead of celebrating what you already are, coming back to your wholeness, bringing the circle back within and closing it. Because when you open up yourself, those most vulnerable aspects of yourself, to other people and begging them to love them and rejecting them so you can be accepted by other people, you become entangled in something so painful, because you've abandoned yourself. You've abandoned yourself for love. And love doesn't cost a thing. It just costs. It doesn't cost a thing. It just is. It just is. So even though you are experiencing this heaviness of thinking, of having all these thoughts, right? Having the monkey mind, thinking of everything negative, being more aware of everything you did wrong. It's just information, informing you on the toolbox you need to have to receive and maintain your dream self. It's not bad. It's just a matter of how you perceive this information. And if you perceive this information in a disempowered way, where you believe you gotta heal more, you gotta fix yourself, what you're telling yourself, how you're perceiving yourself is, I'm a victim, right? I'm a victim. And when you keep yourself in that loop of being a victim, you never actually become sovereign. You never actually become powerful the way you want to. You're on the opposite end of that. It doesn't mean that when you get cut, you don't, want to to clean that wound and support it so that it heals itself, right? It means that you don't associate your entire energy with the pain of that wound. You let that pain be exhilarating, like, ooh, I'm alive. Right? There's a difference in how you associate with all these parts of yourself that were not met the way you desired them to be met by your parents, by all those people in your past, right? By the world. You're like, oh, okay, these parts are calling my attention, not their attention, my attention, so that I can be more intentional with who I allow around me. Not from a wounded place of like, F people, I never want to be around these kind of people again. You want to release all that emotion instead of repressing it and expressing it. And once you get over that hurdle, you actually want to come to the conclusion that, hey, it was never personal. Everyone else is just programmed with their own stories. Everyone else is just programmed with their own perception of relationships, of love, of how they need to be in order to receive love. So we're just bouncing off each other. But as long as you take full ownership for your own energy, right, you become aware with your own energy and you become a leader in where you place yourself within yourself. Life now works with you to give you what you truly desire, because you're like, hey, I'm over here, life, meet me here, right? You're not waiting for life to happen for you. You're like, hey, life, I'm over here, catch up, please. That's power. So when you notice yourself being so uncomfortable with your stillness, with your presence, and you're judging everything about yourself, you're like, oh my gosh, look where I'm at, look at my house, look at my environment, look at my clothes, I don't look great. You are slowing down your momentum to catching up to your dream self, because you're both your lower self and your higher self. You need the contrast to gain clarity and precision into what you are here to create. Once you understand this, life becomes so much easier. So much, the meaning of living changes, because you're now not living to meet other people's expectations, to prove yourself to other people. You're living to fill you up, to experience love through you, to become one with the present moment, to really experience what it feels like to be alive, to really get to know your soul, to really see firsthand what divinity feels like through you, your human self. Life becomes more magical. So if you resonate with all this information and you want close proximity transmissions to support you in your new becoming, I invite you into the Sovereign Mind Activation, which is open right now for the next 3 weeks. And after that, we are opening Soul Driven Radiance again. You can find more information in the About section, somewhere here. Otherwise, see you on the other side.